Hey, hi. If you were one of the people who was interested in doing a love note make along, you should pause this video, or hopefully you have your stuff with you. Go grab your stuff and bring it back, and we're gonna talk about some things for a make along on the other side. Let's get into it. Take 35. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my yarny corner of the YouTube verse. If you would like to check me out on other social media, you can do that on Instagram as Piece4PeaceCrafting, over on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft. There's also a group, the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast group, and Instagram and Ravelry. Oh, and here, you're here. Everything just flew out of my head. So we are going to start this whole episode over. Psych, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that to you. I'll make you all sit through the intro one more time. Oh, such a mess. Anyway, welcome to everyone. If you are new, welcome. Hope you all enjoy the content that I have here. And if you are returning, welcome back. You already know the hot mess that this is. I hope everyone is doing well. It has been a blur of a 2 weeks, so I don't really have much to catch everyone up on life-wise. I actually can't believe it's been 2 weeks. Like, it's a little bit crazy to me. Like, February is so soon. Yeah, but there's a lot of fun things that I want to talk about today. Like, as I was going around my apartment grabbing things, it's like, oh my God, what is all of this? So first things first, I'm the realist. First things first, a lot of people reached out and said that they would be interested in doing a make along for the love note. And so you asked, I shall do. So here's the thing. The make-along starts today. It's going to be a quick one. It's not very long. I talked about this before, and people were like, I'd be down with that. So here's what's going to happen. This video is going to go live. You all are watching now in the future. And it's going to run until, I'm going to say, my next episode, which I think is going to be like February 12th or something. And so I feel like that's silly, and I'm going to cut it off at the 14th. So on Singles Awareness Day, I'll close the thing. So get your stuff in by then. And then the following one, I guess I'll do a giveaway of some sort towards one person that was wild enough to make a love note in 2 weeks. You all wanted it, so this is what we're gonna do. So go ahead, I will put a thread, I'll put 2 threads up in Ravelry. Whips are fine. If you're just casting on, that's fine, I don't care. You have 2 weeks to get her done. There'll be a chatter thread over in Ravelry where people can comment and chit chat, and then we'll do an FO thread of you all posting your beautiful sweaters that you're gonna make in the next 2 weeks. This is awesome. And if you're over on Instagram and you wanna use a hashtag over there so that I can see it, share it, all that fun stuff, let's use the hashtag love note peace cow. That's love note peace cow. Over on Instagram. I'll be sure to get that hashtag started when I upload this video and do my little thumbnail for it. So that's thing 1. Happy making, everyone. Thing 2 is a bunch of people were tagging me in posts saying that they too, or commenting, actually reaching out, saying that they were gonna try and do 12 pairs of socks this year as well. And so I thought, why not start a thread for that too if you use Ravelry and it's accessible to you. I'll start a thread like show us your socks or something like that. Maybe I'll think of something funnier. But just like a little sock thing, and you can post your socks and stuff, and then maybe at the end of the year we'll like pull some winners for that. I don't really know. I thought it was fun. I haven't even done a pair this year yet, but that's okay because like the year's long. And even if you miss a month, you can make it up another month if you do 2 pair. Whatever, who's counting and telling you when you need to do it? But I thought that would be really dope too, to cheer each other on, see what beautiful socks people are making. So there's a thread that's gonna be over there for that too. And I think that's all the sort of admin-y stuff that I need to chat about. All right, so let's get into it. All right, first thing, so remember last time, if you don't, because this is your first time checking me out, go back. I'm just kidding, you don't have to. So last time I was telling you all that I'm very giggly today, wanted to start a really big project with all of this fiber that I got over the holidays. And I needed to clear off my bobbins to get that started. And so I think I showed, oh, I forgot. Oh no, they're here. I think I showed the colors that I had already spun up, and I just needed to like do one other thing and get those done. So I plied them and washed them. And here, you all, before I even showed this, don't judge. This skein looks awful, but it's pretty. So here, if you're over on Instagram, you already saw this. Instagram saw it first. So this is my huge skein of fiber that I spun up. It was a braid from Into the World. I believe it was called Queen of France. And I did a 3-ply with just some like burgundy wine colored fiber, and did a 3-ply. And so if I undo this, because I did a 3-ply, it ended up being, like I can separate them, it's 2 skeins. So you can see like it's very gray on one side and a lot more red on the other. I think it's really beautiful. These skeins are a little uneven, even though when I put them on my... So like I don't have one of those fun, I think they're, what are they called? Nitty knotty thingies, you know, where people do this thing after they spin their yarn. I just like wind it onto my Swifts. I have a piece of like twine that I measured out to be 2 yards and then tied it, measured it again, made sure it was 2 yards. And then I put that on the Swift, open it up until it's expanded, and then I just wind the yarn off the bobbin and then count them. So this ended up being about 414 yards approximately, give or take. So I think that's about a fingering weight. It is a fingering weight. And I'm super excited. I have no idea what any of this is gonna be. I still need to tag it, put some notes in, and then throw it. This cubby's kind of full, so maybe there's an empty one behind me. I'll just start a new thing. Love this. This cleared off 3 bobbins, which was awesome. Yeah, so that's finished object 1 for some spinning. Set that here. I had another bobbin that just had some mystery fiber on it. I have no idea what it was. And it had been there for a while too. And so I decided, since it was the only one and it wasn't a lot, that I would just do a chain ply on that. And this is what that ended up being. This beautiful, just like sort of brownish walnutty color. It's a cute little mini. This one ended up being about 60 yards, so it's like a little bit less than a mini skein, I think. I don't really know. I think there's more yarn in a midi skein than there is here. Anyway, it's a 3-ply. It's about 60 yards. I don't even know the weight of it because it came to me in a package with something else. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna practice and spin this up. So I also have this little nugget that will end up going into my cubbies as well. So much. So that's thing 2. Bobbins are cleared off. Loving life. Decided to go ahead and start spinning up some of that fiber from the Advent that I got. Actually, I'll put in a picture of all the... This is my signal for myself when I'm watching it back and just scrolling to see where the photo needs to go in. I'll put in a picture of all the fiber from that Advent here. So what I decided to do was there's 12 days and then 1 4-ounce braid. And what I'm gonna do is, I can't remember if I talked about this or not, but I laid all the colors out and my roomies and I sat and I had them help me. So I divided them odds and evens. And I went to one of my local yarn shops here, Yarnify, and got a bunch of wool from them. A bunch of it is light gray and a bunch of it is dark gray. And so what I decided is, once we laid the colors out and then I put the 2 different color wools with them, that all the odd days would be spun with a lighter wool. So everything's gonna be a 3-ply. And then all of the even days would be spun with a darker, with the darker wool. And then the braid, I'm gonna split in half and do half and half. So half will get the dark, half will get the light. Anyway, this is gonna be a long journey. I'm super excited about it though. But I did get the first day spun up. So here is the finished skein of it. I have to say, like, I can definitely tell. So it's been almost a year since I started spinning, right? I got it for my birthday last year, so that was the end of March last year. And like the skein that I just showed, really there's a couple others that are like in my stash now that I'm like, oh, this is totally like usable, love it. I'm starting to see like my progress. This though, I'm like, okay, now you're starting to understand some things. So this is my day 1, all spun up. Absolutely love. I can undo it, although this is like a really good thing. So here's what it looks like all spun up. It's a 3-ply. It has, stop moving. It's got some nice little bounce to it. And so there's like brown sections and this like mustardy yellow and these pretty little like soft purpley pinkish colors in day 1. And again, this is 3-plied, so I took the braid, split it, I weighed it, split it. I'm like really trying to go all out. Weighed it, split it, got it to as close as I possibly could for it to be even. Spun them both like the same, like starting at the same end. And then I spun a bunch of the gray. And then I applied them together. And what I think is one of the cool things is now that I have a bunch of the gray, and I'll show it in a sec, as I'm going through and spinning up the other days, the gray's already done. And so I can just like spin them, let them rest for a day, and then ply them all together. So this was day 1. Oh, I brought a little notebook. Where is it? Because I'm trying to write things down. So this little skein ended up being 140 yards. I know. And it was only like 96. I don't have that written in here. It's in my other notebook. It was only like 96 or 0.96 ounces. That's what I meant to say. So it wasn't even a full ounce. So huzzah. Super excited. Are you watching The Great? It's amazing. Huzzah. Super excited about this. Like, this got me really geeked about what is going to come down the line with the other colors. Yeah, I'm so excited for this big year-long project. We'll see. I mean, who knows what life will bring me, but we'll see how quickly I can get stuff spun up so that then I can finally start knitting it and then talk about that project. So I'm going to do it in sections. So bobbins cleared, a full skein, little mini, another little mini. The spinning was real. Here is the gray that I'm using. This is just 100% wool that I picked up from my local yarn shop. And I spun this up, and this is hanging out waiting for the next colors to be spun up as well. And then I started spinning day 3, because I'm gonna do all the odds first. And here, put this in my lap. Here is some of the raw fiber. So we got these crazy teals and purples, and there's some brown in there. Here's what it looks like, just in its natural state, I suppose. And so I've already spun up half of this braid here. So you can see, like, there's definitely going to be some a gradient to it, and the end of it is like very brown, so we get that chocolatey color. So this became this. I'm hoping to spin this up tomorrow, maybe even today, maybe later this evening. Spin this up so then I can ply, let rest, and wash that and have day 3 done. I'm really excited about that. So that's kind of like would that be considered a hoe? It's like half spun. A HS. Don't have me out here making things up. Anyway, that is all I have for my spinning stuff this time around, which is kind of like low-key a lot. Yeah, but I was just like, I got in such a groove and was really excited, like waking up with coffee, spinning a little bit, or in the evenings. We started watching some like trash TV on one of the streaming services, and so I would just like sit and spin while that was going on, like a show that I could like passively watch, not where I needed to be fully invested in it. Yeah, also I'm drinking out of a I think this was a jam jar, and it just looks so cute in the cupboard. I was like, this is gonna be my water mug for today. All right, so that's all the spinning I have. Now let's get into some knits. I have 2 finished objects and multiple whips. So buckle up tight. All right, first thing, let's start here is, okay, first thing. I told you all in the last episode, I started working on a test knit for Jean-Philippe Cliche, and it is the Nordic Hat. The pattern is not out yet. I just was working on it. And I used for this test knit, it's a DK brioche hat pattern. And this just looks a mess because I'm just digging it out of my bag. So I used the KnitPicks City Tweed DK in Harbor Seal. So it's like a grayish color. You can see the little tweedy bits in it. Oh, love. And this color, which is a lighter gray, is Orca. And then I held it together. No judgment. If you could see this bag with some of the Aloft mohair in Carbon. So these 3 held together to test knit this brioche hat pattern. All right. In case you're wondering. Oh, wait. Let me find it. I don't have a tag because I don't. But that's the link for the KnitPicks stuff will be linked down below. So here is my finished. This is the Nordic Hat What? Can we just talk about how freaking cute I look right now? So this is a brioche hat. So this was the test knit that I did, and I actually need to send some photos and take some finished object pictures. But you hold one strand of each of the DKs and the mohair together to do the entirety of the hat. If you saw the last episode, you know that it starts off being knit flat, so you do the ear flaps and this little flap, and then you connect them to knit in the rounds, and then you finish it off, do some fun stuff up here, and then the border is just one color and the mohair. So I went with the lights because I thought it gave it a little pop. Oh my god, it's so cute. And I think I said this last time. I used to have a hat like this that was it was Puma, and I loved that thing. And I went to some event and like lost it. Haven't gotten another one or had another one like it since. So when I saw that the call for testers for this, I was like, ugh, I need this in my life. I would love to test it so that I can help. And also then I'll have this really dope thing. So you hold one of the colors double with the mohair to do the brim. It's an applied I-cord, which I don't think I've ever done before. Because when I watched the video that was attached, like how to do it, I was like, oh, this seems kind of new to me. And if I'm being honest, like the first couple times through, like just starting it, I was like, this seems a little bit sus. But I just kept going because, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I do. And it's so dope. Like, it looks really good. Wait, I need to fix this. Okay. So, I think the only thing that I knit the large size because I have a big head. I think the only thing I'm going to do to this, like once I take some FO photos, is because I have some of the yarn left over, I want to make little, they're not tassels, but you know what I mean, like little cords to hang off. So then like when I'm outside and it's cold here, I can tie it. It'll just sit a little bit more snug to my face when I have my coat on. Oh, it's so flippin' toasty. And you can probably hear my radiators in the background, so I apologize. They're going to be loud. I wish... Or do I put a snap? So then I can snap it up. Leave a comment down below. Tap, string, cords, tassels, whatever. Or a snap. I guess you could tie it up this way. Anyway, thanks for letting me talk that out with you all just right now. So be on the lookout for this pattern. I think it's going to be released in the middle of February. I'm so happy with the way that it turned out. So that's my finished object number 1. Okay, finished. Yeah, this has to come off because now that the heat's turning on and it's hissing in the background, it's going to be warm in here in a second. All right, finished object number 2 is I finished my Starflick Shawl. I could hear some of you going, like looking up from your project going, what? Ah, I did. Calm down. And for this, I used Blue Fiber Company in the 80% fine superwash merino, 20% Mongolian cashmere. It's 437 yards in the colors Epic and Shidori. Now, here is how much of the Epic, which is the blue, I have left. And I'm keeping it in this little thing, but here's how much of the neon yellow I have left. So kind of a lot. This was my main color. yeah, this was my main color too. And this was my contrast. And there wasn't enough for me to do the I-cord, the striped I-cord that's written in the pattern. But it says in there too, like if you just want to use one color, like whatever you have, excuse me, left, go for it. So I did it all in the neon. Now, y'all, before I even show you this, let me tell you a story. There I was, finishing my shawl, so excited. Bound it off one night, let it chill. I was like, I'll give it a bath tomorrow. And the next day comes, I'm geeking out. I'm like, I can't believe this is done. I'm so excited. And I give it a bath. I get some color catchers. I put 3 of them in my little thing. And as soon as I set it down, I pushed it in the water, there was blue dye that seeped out everywhere. And I was like, wait, what? Normally, when you're knitting with blue, this has been my experience, like if it's gonna bleed a lot, it'll wear off on my hands, like while I'm knitting. That never happened. So, I was like, oh no, this is a disaster. I literally like let it sit, maybe 3 minutes tops, pulled it out, wrung it out, rolled it up, stepped on it. There was color bleeding. Now, one might think, oh, I'm like so sad about it. Like, this is like all this hard work. Oh, woe is me. But like, I'm a little bit not mad. So, all that to say, here it is. So, because, we know colors, yellow and blue are going to get you kind of a green. So, definitely in the first section, you'll be able to see a little bit of like tie-dye look, but the rest of it was so even, the like bleeding all over, that I don't even care. So here is my finished Starflake. Like you can see it here, obviously. This was me freaking out. And then I was just like, whatever, I don't care. So the rest of it, what? Looks so even and incredible. Like I couldn't have asked for, except for like that one little spot, I couldn't have asked for a better like bleeding of the color. So now it's giving me like neon yellow green, green yellow, and this blue, and like I don't care. I was like, at first when I saw it happening, obviously I was like, oh no. And then I pulled it out, did whatever, and I was like, actually this looks really boss too. And lesson learned, like I should have steam blocked it, but I didn't. So now I know in the future, if I'm ever using colors, if I have any inkling of a doubt, steam block it. So the last time I was with you all, where was I? I just finished the brioche. So this, oh my gosh, this big section here. And I had to do these little short row sections. So there's another one on the opposite side. And then you do these little triangle wedges. So if you've seen, there's a couple of his shawls. So this is Stephen West. There's a couple of his shawls that have it. These little triangles. And there's 4 of them that go all along the edge of it. And then you come back and you do these little stripe sections. And then you do this border. And I did the extra border because I was like, oh, let me push and see how much of the blue I can actually go through. One of my favorite details about this is in the border. I'm wearing black, so you won't be able to see it as much. Oh, maybe if I do this. Maybe if I do this. There's like this little eyelet row that's like in the middle of just like all this garter. There's this little eyelet row that like curves around with it. Obsessed. Oh, I just shook the camera. My bad, everyone. Obsessed. So cute. And then I bound it off in the yellow, which is now sort of green. What is happening in this room right now? Like, the light just flickered, the radiator's going off. You all, I am a professional. I'm not. I'm not. So when I'm wearing it, which I haven't worn it out yet, because I wanted to show it first, I think, like, you're obviously not going to be able, want to cover my mic and make too much noise. It just makes me so happy. Like, I don't even care. It's so good. Yeah, so this is the Starflake. It's done. This yarn is incredibly soft. It's like, I know people say it's like butter, but it's like butter. And it feels good next to the skin. So I am loving this. I'm super excited and happy that this is done. And yeah, now I can do something else. And I know some of you are thinking, oh no, not the shawl. Hashtag not the shawl. But like, it's fine. It's all good. Okay, I'm back. So many things are happening in my apartment right now. So this is my Starflake. Super excited about it. Can't wait to start wearing it out. It just makes me so happy. So the color bleeding is cool. It's okay. I still have a gorgeous shawl to wear around in my jacket when I'm freezing. All right, so those are my two finished objects. Now on to a couple whips that I have. I did do a little bit of work on my Kinship, but I didn't bring it today to show you all because it's sort of same, but it's the same. So I'm just gonna hold off and wait until that is finished before I come back or bring it back on here to show all of you. But I did get to do a little, make sure I don't drop things, a little work on my, now I can't remember my single malt sweater. Not very much because, as you can see, I was doing 400 other things. Again, this is in the Lion brand Fisherman's Wool. I am doing the sleeves. I'm still doing the sleeves, which if I'm being completely honest, I didn't work on them very much. But I did do some, so I thought, oh, that's just a little fluff. I thought I would show. I'm probably about 3 inches-ish away from doing the ribbing, like the cuffs, and then the sleeves will be done, and then it'll just be the body, I'm going through. I'm loving it. The texture that is on the sweater is beautiful. And again, like the detail of the raglan increases is gorgeous. And it just makes me so happy. I'm hoping that I get some more work done on this week or over the next 2 weeks. I'm sure that I will. Now that I have like a couple things bound off, like I needed to get that test knit done before the deadline, which is still like 2.5 weeks away. I'm happy it's over, or I'm happy I'm done with it. So now I can focus on other things. And I got into a groove with that Starflake and just banged it out. And so then I decided to show this some love. And I was working on that Kinship a little bit. So it's been a lot. That's my single malt. Now, I say all that, and I may have cast something else on. Oops. All right, so next thing I cast on was, I think I showed the yarn in the last episode. It's the Anker sweater, my boyfriend size, by Petite Knit. I've never done one of her patterns before. So I showed the yarn, show it again. This is It's DK, so this is the Copra. This is KnitPicks as well, in Hemlock Heather. And the pattern is just written for the DK, and I'm being extra and adding the mohair to it. And so the green mohair is called Labyrinth. So it's these two together. I did my swatch, which now the lighting in here is kind of crazy. I did my swatch and realized that it was gonna be not the right size. So glad I did it. So I went up a needle size. I did the math, figured out everything. Oh, you need to go up a needle size. And here's where I am on that. You all, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but here's where I am on that. So it's a little scrunched because I kept it on the needle that I cast it on with and was just like, let me get through the yoke. And then, which I should have just used a bigger needle or bigger cable because it's so many stitches. And then I'll go back, but it's fine, whatever. So it is a 1x1 rib. And then you get these sections where you have your increases and it just keeps getting bigger because you're doing, I don't want to lose anything. Oh my gosh, you're doing the ribbing and then you increase and then you keep going. So there are 5 sets of the ribbing and I'm halfway through the 5th set. So the yoke is almost done. I just have to finish the ribbing and then do a little bit of raglan increases and then I can split for sleeves. I cast this on maybe 2 or 3 days ago. But it was just so fun and mindless. I had a meeting over Zoom and I would just sit and do some 1x1 and listen, chat, interact with people as I needed to. Yeah, so I wasn't even trying to get far on it. It was just I'm gonna pick this up whenever. If you don't like 1x1 ribbing, I wouldn't recommend this, but it doesn't bother me. And it's kind of, you just get into a rhythm. You don't have to do it for very long. You switch up and just keep going. I think that the mohair, I've never done a mohair sweater for myself. Have I? No, I haven't. For myself. So I think that this is going to be super lush. And I'm really enjoying it. It's amazing to me. Whenever I use mohair, I'm always like, oh my gosh, it not changes the color, but just changes the color so much. So this green I love, but just in mixing it with this, because it's so dark, yeah, this sweater is gonna be fire. I'm so excited. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. There's not much to say about it. I want it done so I can wear it. It's been the other day, the feels like temperature was -14 Fahrenheit here. I didn't leave the house, but I was like, oh, I just wish I had something warm and cozy to wear if I did need to leave. And this would totally be it. So I think that pushed me a little bit too to oh, it's cold outside. Let me make myself something that will keep me warm. I'm doing so many projects right now with mohair. It's kind of crazy. This sweater, that hat I just finished, that Kinship that I'm working up is with mohair. I think, well, that's it for right now. But that's 3 projects. That's kind of a lot. Yeah, good times. All right, so that's all the knitting content that I have for today. And now there's mohair all over my mouth. I do want to share one little piece of piecemeal that I got in the mail with all of you. A really good friend of mine asked me if I had this book. I said no, and they passed it along, and I'm super excited. And this is the Lina Magazine's 52 Weeks of Shawls. If you've been watching for a while, you already know how I feel about shawls. They are my socks, and this just makes me so happy. There are some stunners in here. I'm sure most people have seen them already, but if you haven't, I would definitely say go and check them out. I believe you can look at the individual patterns on like, I think either on Ravelry or maybe on Lina too. I just want to show you a couple. Okay, this one, this Wildflowers. I hope you can see it. Ah! Like, excuse me? Who do you think you are? Coming up in my house like that. And also, I think Aaron from Fiber Hustle is doing this one. It's the Moy scarf, but it's gorgeous. Oh, love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you to the person who sent this over. I am so excited. Even my roomies I had it sitting on the coffee table and they were flipping through it and they were like, this is a beautiful coffee table book. Like, what? How, there are patterns in there? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we're gonna need to flip through that because we might want some stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So at some point, I'll be making something out of here. And maybe we should do some sort of knit along with this. I'm sure that's been done, but like, it hasn't been done with me. Yeah, let me think about that because I need to make like 80 things in here and there's only 52. So at some point I will be making something out of that. Also, as far as make-alongs go, I know that the Love Note Piece cowl is starting and it's going to be running. But a lot of people, if you're not into making that sweater, a lot of people were saying that they would be into knitting a sweater or something. And so for my birthday month, which is in March, I did a make-along last year, and I think that's probably the direction that I will go in for that one. But we'll wait a couple episodes. Maybe the next one I'll talk about it more so that people can start gathering things for that make-along. Yeah, I just want to make all the things. I feel like that's sort of in the air right now, and I'm just embracing it. I'm like, cast on everything. I almost cast on a hat last night. Like, why? You have 50 other things you could be working on, and you want to cast on another hat? I do, and I'm going to cast on the next 2 weeks, so be prepared to see that. Yeah, and that's okay. Like, just have all the things, and whenever you feel like working on something, just grab it and go. That's how I feel. All right, last thing before I get out of here is my music recommendation. This week, I feel like I'm venturing off a little bit, just in thinking about what I've recommended lately. So hang in there. This is gonna seem like it's coming a little bit out of left field, but it's a great album. So this week I am recommending Animal Collective's Merriweather Post Pavilion. I think this album came out in 2009. It's like into the aughts. This was like a big commercial success album for them, I think one would say. And I love it. I'm a big fan of theirs. Stuff before this I really enjoyed. This album was like, whoa, okay, this is crazy and trippy. Really fun. There's no, like, the back of it is the same. And even the inside, like, it's just, like, what is happening? This person's swimming, can you see? Just like in the aurora. The album's great. My songs that I would recommend from here are My Girls, Lion in a Coma, like rawr, Lion in a Coma, and Brother Sport are 3 jams that I really love from this album. The whole thing, obviously, I think is great because I bought it on vinyl. Go ahead and check that out. I will drop those songs in the Spotify playlist. If you are on Spotify and you would like to jam out with us, there is a playlist over there for the group. It's the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast playlist. If you have trouble finding it, just shoot me a DM over on Instagram, or I guess, yeah, do it on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, do it down below. I don't link it anymore because bots and things. That playlist is collaborative, and you can feel free to drop some songs that you enjoy listening to in there, and that will be collaborative for the week after this goes out, and then I make it non-collaborative the second week, and then it'll be reopened again for my next episode. So go ahead and check that out. I hope everyone has a wonderful 2 weeks. It's gonna be February, which is crazy. I feel like January was so slow, but yet now it's over. So we are just chugging along with the new year. I hope all of you stay safe and healthy, and you get some wonderful crafting done. I can't wait to start seeing some of your love notes pop up either on Instagram or in the Ravelry feed threads. Yeah, let's get making, y'all. And I think that's it for me this time. So until I see you all and hang out with you next time, don't forget, make a piece, spread some peace. Peace.